is Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
A monster weekend for the Toronto Raptors. I'm Andrew Walker with the Sportsnet Central update. It was setting up to be the Raps' toughest stretch of the season. 8 straight games against quality above 500 opponents. So far, they're 2 for 2.
Down to the baseline, into the lane. Gets to James Johnson. Corner 3. Got it! Down the bottom of the well for James Johnson. Toronto up 84-82.
Season high 20 points for James Johnson as the Raps knock off the NBA champion San Antonio Spurs 87-82, denying Spurs head coach Greg Popovich's 1,000th career win. DeMar DeRozan with 18. This victory coming off the heels of an impressive comeback win over the Clippers on Friday. Here's head coach Dwayne Casey.
Our guys came in and played, made tough plays, physical plays, plays with force on both ends of the ball. That's what you have to play to beat a team, a championship team like that.
So the Raptors now 8-2 against the West this season. They sit second in the conference, 3 games up on Chicago and Washington. Next up for the Raps, home to those Wizards on Monday. The Toronto Maple Leafs finally mercifully ending a franchise-worst 11-game losing skid on Saturday. And one win over the equally hapless Edmonton Oilers. Next up for the Leafs, the New York Rangers in town tomorrow night. And, of course, the NHL trade deadline looming in a little over 3 weeks. Last night, the Habs, they hit by Boston 3-1 to sweep the season series from the Bruins. 34 saves from Carey Price. 2 goals for Marian Hossa. Hawks over the Blues 4-2. Philly gets by the Capitals 3-1. Islanders hold Buffalo to just 10 shots for the second time this season. They get by the Sabres 3-2. And Tampa, a 5-3 win over Anaheim, the Lightning, back on top of the Eastern Conference. Coming up tonight, 5 games, including the Kings and Jackets on Sportsnet Ontario. One of the most successful coaches in college basketball history has died. Hall of Fame coach Dean Smith passed away Saturday at the age of 83. He led the North Carolina Tar Heels to 11 Final Fours and 2 national titles. You're listening to the home of Leafs Nation, Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Today's one. This is Brady and Walker on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
My message to our team: get ready. Start preparing now. Start preparing that we're going to be playing games, you know, in January and so forth. Something about that I think is characteristic of our football team. We are going to build a bully, and we're going to see if you want to play us for 60 minutes, because we're going to give everything we have, every snap out there.
Buffalo Bills new head coach Rex Ryan is 643. Brady and Walker. Interesting choice of words. Building a bully, he says, at the beginning of the year. And it just so happens that over the weekend, Greg, they signed, I don't know if you call him disgraced offensive lineman, Richie Incognito, who came to prominence when he played for Miami this past year, and the whole weird Jonathan Martin bullying scandal.
That's when the NFL had scandals that were not about hitting women, right, and not about deflated footballs and the like. And that was didn't seem like everyone's like, there's something really wrong with the NFL, and that was 2 seasons ago, not last year, where Roger Goodell had to wade through this minefield of legitimate problems, very legitimate problems with Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, and the like. What I didn't know until looking at this yesterday was Incognito's had 3 tryouts, 3 different teams. He got reinstated in February 2014. Tried out with the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Broncos. They all said, no thanks. And whether that's just, we met the guy, we saw him play, it's a combination of both. We asked our leaders in our locker room, and they said no. Yeah, who knows, right? Who knows? Yeah, that's not for me to say. If people want to reset, there's very Google pretty easily as to why the Miami Dolphins decided to say enough's enough. And it wasn't
if he is well matured,
joking about Martin Simmons, others. He harassed an Asian American trainer with racial slurs.
And he's well matured,
we were talking Friday about Evander Kane even, and going, good guy, bad guy, we understand where the Jet players are at, despite the obvious talent. I'm not even sure this is that. It's a good offensive lineman. He's a good player. That 31 other teams could have signed within the last year, so why now with Rex? And why is this his first signature move, really, as Buffalo Bills coach?
Now, but there is a timeline here, and this past season, like you said, when he interviewed with these different teams, there's a timeline that you are toxic as an individual. But there's also a timeline where you have to, no matter what you've done, and we saw it with Michael Vick, where you look at each other and say, okay, are we going to punish this guy for life? Is it impossible for him to turn over somewhat of a new leaf? I don't.
This is why I told you I think Ray Rice has a football team next year. I really do.
No, but I don't think he's very good. There's a difference there, right? I think Ray Rice
It's
is
wrong
getting
that
older at a
you
position
saw
that's very
all that
replaceable.
year
Richie
he got
Incognito
injured,
is a pretty good player,
strength
and he
and
just missed an entire calendar year, not quite a calendar year, but a whole season of money-making time in his career for being an ignorant, bad guy, bit of a bully.
And we should point out,
it's not okay to do that, but has he not paid enough?
let me point out that I think you and I are often on the same page when it comes to the fake outrage stuff and a lot of BS political correctness. We're usually on the same page about that stuff. And I Incognito crossed a lot of lines. And that said, there are many football fans, there are many absolutely objective people who look at Jonathan Martin and said, Jonathan Martin didn't handle being quote-unquote bullied the right way either, right? Releasing text messages to the public, ratting this guy out. When we talked to Brian Hartline, he said the same thing. He said, hey, it's sort of, we moved on from both those guys, and it's probably the best thing for us. I don't think they wanted Jonathan Martin back in that locker room any more than they wanted Richie Incognito back.
Martin didn't come out of this looking like
No,
absolutely.
he did. He threw another guy under the bus in this case. What's really interesting is everyone will say the right things right away. Mario Williams will say it. Fred Jackson will say it. Whoever the quarterback is, whether it's E.J. Manuel or somebody else, will say, we're on board with this.